fly. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation. Now I got rollies all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Water on bed like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. I ain't make it this far for myself. I had to prove to everybody else. I had to set them straight. I had to boss. I had to renovate. I know they hate when you elevate. The stacking up losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate. Yeah. They hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate.
Hey, when you elevate, elevate, elevate. What's up, y'all? Burn Live, y'all. Marijuana keeping y'all connected. Hashtagging these red eyes, changing the viewers' eye red, keeping underage smoking. Underage smoking off social media. I'm killing myself for your entertainment. I'm sitting here with friends and family starting a cannabisation. What it do? And I look pretty damn dark. I don't know if I'm gonna have to turn on the light or what's going on. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Burn Live show. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's see who all up in here. Oh, my X family up in here. My YouTube family is up in here. My Rumble family is slowly coming up in here. I welcome everybody. So, how y'all doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever time you're watching this. Shout out to the new people who have just started watching my show, start subscribing to my channel. I highly appreciate it. Shout out to my boy at the pawn shop that's doing very, very big numbers in the low riding industry, dog. I really appreciate it. Thank you for looking out. He gave me a cool deal on this gamer keyboard. I was like, man, I need a keyboard. You know what I'm saying? I got tired of the old keyboard, and I try to keep my keyboard sometimes down here out the way, and sometimes, a lot of times, I cannot see the keyboard because I might do a show late at night. I might do a show and it might be dim. It's always dim on this side. It's always dim on this side, and I'll be needing a light. So he looked out for me, got me that. I highly appreciate it. Shout out to him. Y'all know what time it is. Get your weed, get your concentrate, get your blunts, get your joints, get your blunts, get your joints, get your dab rigs, get all your weed, get your paraphernalia, get everything loaded, get ready for action. You know, we talk about marijuana. Did I just say marijuana? I can't wait to relook at this part and look at the closed caption and see what it says that I said. Oh my God. If anybody can rewind and put on the closed caption and see what I just said, I highly appreciate it. But y'all know what time it is, man. It's time to get into these stories. I got some good stories. I got some things going on. First and foremost, I appreciate everybody hanging out. We are going to start off with marijuana stories and laws and stuff that is going on. So we're going to get into it. But first, let's take this quick commercial break before we start our first show. I'm glad I had these little interludes now to switch over into different things. I think that's cool. I think that's cool, y'all. But we've been getting to our first story. It's a marijuana story. It's kind of awkward. This is awkward, but let's get into it.
For many reasons. One reason, freedom. If people want to use it and it doesn't do harm, just like Oregon showed, let them do it.
Like Oregon showed. I'm glad he talked about weed because Oregon showed that we shouldn't legalize no type of drug.
That's Chuck Schumer, Senate Majority Leader, talking about legalizing pot. He wants it to be about freedom. While all but 3 states now allow marijuana in some form, it is still illegal federally. It's listed as a Schedule I drug. New studies show it's far from harmless, as Schumer said. 16 million people report being addicted. Among 52 million Americans 12 and older, now 52 million Americans say they have used marijuana in the past month. Nearly 1/3 of users say they can't quit. So it's a real thing, and it's far from deemed totally safe or harmless. Thanks to legalization, potent pot has now been found to cause psychosis, especially in young adults. So it's a real problem. There's some real questions about the unintended consequences of legalizing marijuana, something the pro-pot folks don't like talking about. And it's interesting because Schumer's pot advocacy this week comes after a stern warning about nicotine last week. He wants to outlaw or heavily regulate Zyn. They are non-tobacco, meaning just the drug form of nicotine pouches that you put in your mouth.
Pouch packed with problems, high levels of nicotine. So today I'm delivering a warning to parents.
So in other words, high levels of nicotine, well, we have a problem. High levels of THC, it's about freedom. And full disclosure, after our story last week about Schumer's Zyn crackdown, I tried Zyn for the first time. It wasn't fun. It turned me as green as Kermit the Frog, and our graphics department has illustrated exactly how I looked on Saturday night. And I know my mother's watching, and I will hear about this after the show, but...
Okay. How do y'all feel knowing that somebody you watch on television, that you watch on television, smoke weed? Do anybody got a problem with this? I mean, I personally don't. Let's keep it real. I personally don't. But it is a little interesting to see, like, hey, you smoke weed and this is the outcome. And has he ever did a crime? Shall we look up his background check and see what he done? And if he did anything wrong, should we fire him? That's how it looks like in a trucking industry and for federal jobs. Luckily, I guess news anchors is not a federal job. That's a state job. Interesting.
I feel being honest with the viewers is important. That said, it was my choice. As Chuck Schumer would say, it was freedom to be stupid. So if marijuana can be a choice, why can't nicotine? We're not talking about tobacco. We're just talking about nicotine, a drug, just like THC. Our guest last week had an answer.
There is a sort of illusion that these are massively youth appealing, and that's the reason they come in flavors. But that's not the case at all. With nicotine pouches, only 1.5% of youth have even used them.
So it's like a lot of things these days where there's a divide in America. Marijuana is the drug of the elite. Thus, pot shops all over Brooklyn and close to middle schools are just fine with Chuck Schumer. But Zyn packets are all the rage among young white men, including the person who let me try it. Yes, the freedom to be stupid. But those Zyn packets, according to Chuck Schumer, must be stopped. Pot should be legal. We'll see if Schumer gets his way on either front. You can let us know your thoughts about this story and others at warnotes.com. That is.
What is the good argument between what drug to use and what drug not to use? That is a good question. I believe that's a good question. What drug is technically worth us taking off? We all can probably agree that what's that drug called? I forgot the drug name. That's crazy. Everybody probably want to take meth out. Everybody want to try to take, what's the other drug, y'all? Come on, y'all, help me out. I'm having a brain fart for real. A real brain fart. Only reason I had a brain fart because I'm still new to the drug, even though it's really taking over the streets. Even though it's taking over the streets and stuff like that. What is that? I am having a big, what is that shit that coming across the border? It's gonna hit my, I'm just so mad at myself that I'm having a brain fart, y'all. Oh well. Cause I'm so sorry I can't think of the I can't think of it. And that's I feel bad I can't think of it. And my mama be calling me every day, all day, like, you know that drug is coming, they putting it in your weed. I be like, I ain't know nothing about it, mama. I swear to God. What's that shit called? Oh well. Either y'all gonna type it out for me to help me remind me, or we just gonna keep it going because I can't remember it at the moment. But y'all know what drug I'm talking about. It's a very exclusive drug. It's really going down. And I do apologize for not remembering what the name of it. I'm sorry. I just feel so stupid. I feel dumb as hell at the moment. And while I'm talking around in circles, I was over here really trying to think about it. But I can't think about it. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, hey, I like that story. I'm proud of that story that we just watched. For one, having a news anchor admit the truth and get up on the stand and say, hey, I tried drugs. I thought it was stupid. It's still safe. He can't knock it's not safe, but he still called himself stupid. And he say to get that damn high, I don't believe he got that high. I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't believe he got that high. Ooh, New Thailand government. What's that? Back. New Thailand black flips on legalization of recreational marijuana, y'all. This is the next story that we finna get into. I love. I am not gonna lie to nobody. I'm really starting to appreciate getting into these stories.
Once unimaginable is now
all covered with weed. Do I look better, or do I need to still try to get brighter? I feel like I'm a little bit brighter than normal. We all right. Let's go.
Now unavoidable. 18 months after Thailand became the first country in Asia to decriminalise cannabis, more than 1 million people have registered to grow it and over 6,000 dispensaries have opened to sell it.
It's kind of like cowboy a little bit at the moment that everyone is doing kind of like whatever they want. Even like as a company, I think we're looking forward to kind of like a little bit of tightening up.
Pasit Chulajata had been working at a cannabis farming business since the drug was legalised for medicinal purposes in 2018. But even the budding industry itself was shocked when it was decriminalised.
Honestly, we were as surprised. Even, as a person that's been in the industry, we were really, really surprised.
The new government has now released draft legislation which would end recreational use and limit it to medicinal purposes, and crack down on so-called cannabis cowboys.
There's been some negative pushback, but I think the government is on the verge to kind of tighten it up, which is going to help, protect people that needs to be protected, like young kids.
The move has been welcomed by doctors who say they're dealing with the impacts of the weed boom.
Tea time of the patient go to the hospital because of the side effect of the cannabis.
Dr. Smith is a forensic toxicologist and part of his job is screening dead bodies for traces of illicit drugs. At his hospital, in the first 3 months after legalisation, 126 people were admitted after using cannabis. 7 of them were intubated, 1 died.
People say Israel do some of the best research on marijuana. Now, Asia, China, has some of the most intelligent people too. You think they gonna out? Cause y'all, the more and more countries that legalize marijuana is gonna open up the field for new strands of weed, stuff that you not trying. Also, and this is what I kind of want to say for the OGs out there. Some of you OGs out there want some of these old countries to open up marijuana because that's how you're going to resurface some old seeds. I believe that's how you get some of them old old seeds. I know there's a pioneer somewhere out there that's probably out there solely looking for old seeds and stuff like that. And I think that'd be a wonderful thing to do, because I'm starting to hear that a lot of people who was raised and born in the hippie era are starting to look for specific seeds and specific things out there. And I'm not knocking nobody, but I am curious to what old seeds are still out there and what they doing with them. Shout out to my Rumble group, living it big, doing it big out there. Who else out there? Okay, YouTube. Okay, Facebook. All right, I see y'all. X. Just want to make sure I just want to shout y'all out. Make sure y'all hanging out.
Cannabis is not perfectly safe. Someone have the side effect to the cannabis, like the psychosis or something like that, and someone use it and have like the heart attack and die. Cannabis or weed, not can kill people. No.
He's scared. Damn, he's scared to talk. You could tell. Hey, and also, dog, you could tell Thailand people, their eyes are big. Eyes are much bigger and stuff like that. You might mistaken these people for a Mexican. I ain't trying to be racist. I'm just trying to let you know what I said.
And someone use it and have like the heart attack and die. Cannabis or weed, not can kill people. No way, man.
Dispensary managers like Top believe some of the health claims are exaggerated, but he agrees some regulation is needed.
We need more like a real action from the government, what we can do or what we cannot do, or what we can really sell or what we cannot sell.
It's hard to walk down the streets of Bangkok without seeing or smelling this booming industry. It was estimated that by 2025, it'd be worth about 2 billion Australian dollars. But it's unclear what these new regulations will mean for business.
Bangkok is sponsored by Australian? Did anybody know that? Anybody see stuff like that amazes me. Stuff like that triggers my like, whoa. And I've been following the money, dog, and I know it's like a lot of people have been talking about, I ear hustle people conversation. A lot of people have been talking about how Africa is getting into it with other countries and like that. I'm like, yeah, Africa has a new leader and stuff like that. But this right here, let's get back to this so people won't say that I'm getting off subject. Thailand is Australian money. It's Australian currency. That, wow. It's like, how in the hell you think the Chinese would let that pass? You would think they would not let that pass. Who would let that go? I don't. We're gonna have to check this out, y'all. Here's some more.
I think Thailand has come quite a bit too far, for everything to go back, and I think the government kind of know that as well. And I think we can do really well, to help to use cannabis as to boost the economy. And I think they also know that.
Top says his business will comply with any new laws, but it's too late to put the genie back in the bottle.
It's about the love, about the passion, and then about the sharing. If you are the real smoker, if you call the cannabis lover, you will know what I'm talking about, my man. You will know, brah.
The Thai cabinet will now assess the draft legislation and public submissions before the bill goes before Parliament. Lauren Day, ABC News, Bangkok.
Yes, sir. So that only thing that probably just taught us, like, look at here, y'all. If y'all want to go out the country and y'all want to go somewhere.
I actually switched from Chrome to Opera GX a while ago just because I was so tired of Chrome being the absurd resource hog that it is and performing terribly.
Okay. Bangkok. Let's go to Bangkok, y'all. Let's smoke in the Bangkok, y'all. Let's smoke in the Bangkok. I will be talking about marijuana laws and rules. I handle marijuana news for an hour, and then I get into politics news for the second hour, and that's basically my show. I kind of look at taxes, where our taxpayers' money's going, y'all. What are we invested in? And if they taking the taxpayers' money in these dispensaries, if they spending it right. Now, I had this marijuana story I tried to do yesterday, but it was taking forever for them to even get to the story, and I wasn't really sure. And it's still, yeah. So I got two stories of the same. I'm gonna cover the second one, and then I'm gonna go back to the other one to where the deputy guy. Matter of fact, I'm looking for the shortest one. I got three of the same story. I'm gonna go to the shortest one because maybe it can really give us explanation. Then I go to the bigger story so we can see what really happened.
This was all
Okay. Now it's acting a fool. Don't leave me,
Tonight in the gruesome murders of 6 people found in the San Bernardino County desert. Investigators say they have arrested 5 men for the brutal murders.
And tonight we're learning it was resulting in a marijuana dispute between the two parties.
Okay, I just learned
that breaking news. New details tonight in the gruesome murders of 6 people found in the San Bernardino County desert. Investigators say they have arrested 5 men for the brutal murders.
And tonight we're learning it was resulting in a marijuana dispute between the two parties. Inland Empire Bureau Chief Rob McMillan is live outside the sheriff's headquarters in San Bernardino with the latest. Rob?
right. The sheriff telling us just about an hour ago that it looks like this was all about organized crime, specifically related to illicit marijuana grows in the high desert. Last week, 6 people were found dead. Now 5 high desert residents are under arrest. Nearly a week after a grisly discovery in which 6 people were found shot to death.
Already, that scene right there explains badness already in the middle of nowhere. That's the real definition of in the middle of nowhere. Come on. Like I said, I was covering this yesterday, but they really wasn't trying to tell the story. They was just giving out names, and this is the follow-up, more details of what happened.
A week after a grisly discovery in which 6 people were found shot to death in the middle of the desert, some of the bodies then set on fire, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department has announced 5 high desert residents arrested on suspicion of murder. Investigators saying the 911 call coming in to report the incident was actually a request for help from one of the victims who was shot.
Dispatchers received a 911 call from a subject who spoke Spanish. The caller told dispatchers he was shot, but he did not know the location he was at, and it appeared the call ended. Dispatchers tracked the phone via latitude and longitude coordinates to a remote area in the unincorporated Adelanto area.
After days of investigating, detectives say they believe the suspects and victims were all likely involved in organized crime.
We are confident that this appears to be a dispute over marijuana, which resulted in the murders.
This is an area known for illicit marijuana.
San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dyke is making an impassioned statement that illegal marijuana grows are out of control, as well as the crime that comes with them.
You go look at our deserts, it's hoop house trash that's left over. The police are not going after people who are smoking marijuana recreationally. It's illicit marijuana, the black market of marijuana, and certainly cartel activity and a number of victims that are out there.
Now, this investigation obviously moving very quickly. The crime happening last Tuesday. The search warrants were all served yesterday on Sunday all across the high desert. Again, a total of 5 people under arrest. The sheriff says he's confident that everyone related to this crime is behind bars. Live in San Bernardino, Rob McMillan, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
So, I'm happy. Shit, I'm not even mad. I'm a little like, what the hell's going on? You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of self-explanatory, y'all. When you this picture right here, that this right here, that right there kind of explains everything. This is what I kind of figured, and everybody, well, this is what I figured that was going to happen with marijuana getting legalized. I understand that I wanted to smoke and not be able to have to look over my shoulder. But for us that want to get into this bigger business, like they met out in the middle of nowhere. Y'all had to be moving. You had to be picking up at least 2 tons. 2 tons or more. For me to be moving out there over marijuana, and this is the thing. You notice, and I noticed, and I should have stopped and we should have broke it down. Notice normally they would show the product. So my question is, was there a third car? Because you know how they showed, bam. You see this? You see how they showed the 2 cars? The 1 car that they got all the bullet holes, this car right here. And then how they get caught? You in the middle of nowhere. And y'all get caught. The whole squad. I'm happy. But a lot of questions like, damn, y'all niggas was doing it too big. Too big. So where is it at? These 3 stories right here are all explaining about that. This is the one at the top that I show you that's going right
6
here.
have yet to be identified.
That's what we
Investigators
was
believe
watching yesterday.
Franklin Bonilla was the subject who called 911 after being shot by the suspects. To give you a timeline, it took us about a day and a half to process the extensive crime scene with 6 deceased victims, multiple vehicles, and to collect the evidence. We also had to work with the sheriff's.
Oh yeah, we might have to listen to this just a little bit.
Have you been to Antarctica?
Yes. It's more of a tunnel than...
Coroner's Division to perform the autopsies on the 6 victims to determine cause of death. I can confirm all victims had apparent fatal gunshot injuries. Additionally, 4 of the 6 were burned at the location by the suspects. As far as the motives, we are confident that this appears to be a dispute over marijuana, which resulted in the murders. Our investigators combed...
Okay. Let's skim through it. Nope, they're only going to talk about the victims. It had to be a lot of weed. If this happened, y'all, I'm being real. If this happens over some crumbs, no bullshit. If that happened over some crumbs,
Breaking news.
That's not gonna happen over
All
crumbs, y'all. Like
breaking news.
But that's woo. I got Kansas there. Kansas, what's up with you, Kansas?
Medical marijuana want to see progress this legislative session.
Kansas remains among a handful of states without laws on medical marijuana or decriminalization.
Sean Logging talks with one of the advocates about what their latest push includes.
A bill introduced last year remains in the Kansas Senate, and the furthest legislation on this issue got was back in 2021 when the Kansas House passed out a bill to legalize medical marijuana. Part of the push now from supporters is that the federal government is considering rescheduling marijuana in general from Schedule 1. Cheryl Kumberg, president of the Kansas Cannabis Coalition, also says that the FDA has said that there is medicinal value, so she's working to educate lawmakers about these changes. Tuesday, a number of Kansas groups and organizations in support of medical marijuana and decriminalization held a day of action. Cheryl says there are people in Kansas using medical marijuana in secret for treatment.
Allow these people to use it or not use it. Just because we have a bill doesn't mean that you have to use it. So it's time to get with the 21st century and let's let patients heal. Let's give them options and decriminalize.
Governor Laura Kelly has said that she supports legalizing medical marijuana. However, there has been opposition from law enforcement groups raising concerns about the registration for use and DUIs. At the State House, Sean Logging, 12 News.
Kansas, good luck.
Want to build your business but not sure where to start? Try.
Sorry. Kansas, good luck. Good luck. Good luck. I didn't want to put old girl up here like this. I didn't want to put her up in here like this. I did.
Will tell you how safe the plant is. They say it's a gift from God. It comes from Earth. But it isn't more dangerous than we believe. According to a new study, psychotic disorders linked to marijuana use have grown more than 50% between 2019 and November 2023. And those disorders include schizophrenia. This comes on the heels of a case making national headlines. Brent Speecher, accused of killing her boyfriend, stabbing him to death 108 times in the middle of what she called, and her defense attorneys called, marijuana-induced psychotic episode. According to reports, she consumed a strain with a THC level higher than 30%. A judge ended up sentencing her to 2 years of felony probation and no prison time. Joining us now to talk about it is Dr. Abdullah Kudrath. And of course, I basically
She got a lot of scratches and scars on her. This one. Woo, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta talk about it, I guess. Ooh, shit. We can sit up here and say nobody died off the weed. Committing a crime on the weed. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm trying to go. First of all, let me try to set the tone. Let me build the scale and see how y'all want to weigh it. Because first of all, I was about to crack the joke and say, where the hell is Black Lives Matter at? They not all. I would have thought they'd been all over. This one right here takes the cake. This one right here. What? I was shocked. I was like, what's going on? What am I missing? But hey, I'm not the one to judge. I'm not the one to put out nobody's business. But what I am thinking and seeing and curious about is so if you get on some marijuana, if you're smoking weed and it's higher than 30%, I need to smoke to this one right here. I gotta fire up. So, cause you trying to say if you get higher than 30% and you trip out, and do a crime, I'm gonna just say a crime. I'm not gonna say this crime specifically, but you do a crime, you're gonna yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like that. It's going down. Okay. Yeah. Then she didn't even get that much. No prison time, no jail time. I mean, she's gonna be locked up. She's gonna be popping a lot of pills. They could be injecting her with a lot of. She gonna have to go back to court again. I don't know, man. Understandable, you're on marijuana and you smoking weed, but now this is gonna give reason and scare to people who never were scared of marijuana. They go, oh, you're on marijuana, I'm scared of you now. You know what I'm saying? Boo hoo, boo hoo. It's gonna give females a reason to smoke weed and flip out on their boyfriends and men. Like, yeah, I can just blame it on the weed, and I can get away with it. Think so? I think so. You may, hey, you might think that I'm overstepping the boundaries, and I'm just saying, it just happened. Okay, she got away. When I see cases like this, cases when they pop up like this, I get to thinking a lot of things before I get to thinking like, oh wait, shit. But then you got to think about this. Now, when somebody else commit a crime under weed that's higher than 30%, they're going to be able to bring up this case and fight their case and try to get off. Everybody can use this category, just like I was talking about the Rittenhouse. The Rittenhouse is just one of those cases that if that should ever happen to somebody else, you have a very valuable set case that can fight in your defense. This right here is a case that happened that you can use to fight in your defense. I think that's just all this what this is. It's a shame it happened, shouldn't have happened. You can look at this person and be like, wow, you damn. And like I said, a lot of scratches, but then I'm like, man was probably scratching because you was stabbing him so many times because you was having a trip out. Y'all love each other. And you're probably sitting up here in jail talking about, I love him, I love him, I love him. You know, I don't know. Hey, expect this story right here, ladies and gentlemen, to be explored and dissected in so many other ways later on down the road when people are looking for a story. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to hear too much about it now. I'm talking about it now because it's part of the marijuana industry like this. But yet again, when people are looking for stories and looking for that drama, looking for that, yeah, that's when this right here is going to kick in the gear. Okay? So, not to say that we talked about it first, but we probably, you know, I don't know. It's funny and not funny. Sad. But at the end, you be like, you know what? Everybody don't need to be smoking weed. Everybody don't need to be smoking weed. Y'all shouldn't. It sound like it was your first time. It really do.
Galaxy.
The more you think about it, it really like, man, was it your first time, girl? It might have was. Everybody want to be a health.
Just last week, a judge ruled that a 32-year-old California woman did not need to serve prison time for stabbing her boyfriend to death during what prosecutors called a cannabis-induced psychosis.
Cannabis-induced.
Back to the fact that every marijuana lover.
induce. Oh wow. Oh yeah, you're actually looking at what I'm cooking up. Hey, gotta find y'all a story. We gotta smoke some weed. I'll talk about the rest of these other stories a little bit later. Gator. Man. Everybody. I'm kind of running out of stories. Okay, here one.
Tonight we have an update on the...
Here one. I probably already talked about it, but we're going to talk about it just one more time. And then we're going to get into something else.
To manage legal marijuana in Virginia plans to create a blueprint for the retail sale of recreational weed are moving ahead in the General Assembly. It has been 3 years since lawmakers legalized simple possession of the drug. Virginia Beach State Senator Aaron Rouse is leading the charge. Capitol Bureau reporter Tyler Englander is in Richmond with details.
Today, a Senate subcommittee approved a bill that would allow retail sales in up to 400 stores starting on January 1st of next year. However, the bill still faces several hurdles before becoming law. Tonight, retail sales of recreational marijuana are closer to becoming a reality in the Commonwealth.
My bill is certainly want to provide a framework for Virginians and small business owners and those who want to start a business in the cannabis industry to have a real opportunity without being drowned out by the big guys.
State Senator Aaron Rouse's bill was chosen over a different bill that would have allowed the state's 4 medical marijuana processors to begin selling recreational marijuana in July, while serving as an incubator for small and minority businesses that wanted to get into the industry the following January.
There was no guarantee that they would be operational in 6 months or ever. And there's also no penalty for the medical operators if they never get them operational.
Rouse's bill, which would allow retail stores to open,
would be operational in 6 months or ever. And there's also no penalty for the medical operators if they never get them operational.
Rouse.
No. So there's no penalties for people trying to get their license the right way.
This bill, which would allow retail stores to open on January 1st,
never get in 6 months
to the industry the following January.
There was no guarantee that they would be operational in 6 months.
Is this what y'all call hating? Is this hating? Because she said there's no guarantee that you're going to be operational in 6 months. And then there's no punishment for those who can't even get operation, but that's working on it, that probably has marijuana laws around. Am I hearing that correct?
Or ever. And there's also no penalty for the medical operators if they never get them operational.
There's no punishment. Oh, there's no punishment for those if they don't even get them operational. So you're trying to open up a dispensary and you're getting them out there. There's no punishment for you to, there's no guarantee that you're even going to get open once you get your license from July to January. Okay, cool. Also, there's no punishment out there for you trying to go legalization. You're getting yourself out there and you're getting your brand out there. If you don't ever go get it branded correctly and you do your taxes on it. Even though y'all know that's slowly going to change. Like, there's got to be some punishment for those who say, fuck it, I tried to do it the right way, I couldn't, but yet again, I'm going to get this money. You got to pay attention. Some of these things, that's why I was like, I had to really make sure I heard that over and over, because that's been a slick ass, that's been a smart ass. Of trying to say that a lot of people will use that to their advantage. They're still opening the hole for the black market. That's opening up a huge hole for the black market to come in and say, now, I'm doing this. I don't want to get the right papers. I'm gonna take the shortcuts. I'm gonna open up my business. When you shut it down, who cares? Because there's no punishment. I'm not going to jail. I just lose this building, this operation. I lose whatever products that's up in there, cash, whatever. I just lose that. But I still hold my dignity. I can still move on, and there's no punishment. Yeah, that's Black Market Central, baby. That's what Black Market wants to hear. That's what Black Market wants to see. Black Market, baby. That's what they want to hear, y'all. Okay.
Rouse's bill, which would allow retail stores to open on January 1st, still tasks regulators with taking several factors into account to ensure equity.
Such as from a historically economically disadvantaged jurisdiction, being a veteran, things like that, Pell Grant recipient.
And as for how retail marijuana will be taxed,
the goal here is to generate as much revenue as possible without making the taxes so oppressive that the black market continues to thrive. So it's 12%. Of that 12%, half goes to the state and half goes to the locality.
Now, it's important to note that localities would also have the option to hold a referendum to opt out of retail sales. At the state capitol, I'm Tyler Englander.
Hey, what's up there?
I'm at the state capitol. All I can say is it's interesting to know that yes, in the marijuana industry, there are a huge ass loophole. Huge. Oh shit. We got Carrie. Oh, I thought Carrie Lake was live. I thought Carrie Lake was talking. No, I'm just playing. That was Nikki Haley, y'all. Okay, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all not into this, so I'm gonna try to just talk about something real quick just to open y'all eyes or make y'all look at something or see something that's going on. Nikki Haley and the Republican Party. Oh. We got breaking news that happened 8 hours. A friend of mine was talking about it. I didn't know what vote that got heated. It was strict. I didn't know what was going on, and I just know he was yelling and stuff like that. And I was like, "Wow, you're kind of yelling at me and stuff." And I was like, "I wonder what was going on." I seen somewhat of what. I didn't see nothing, you know what I'm saying? So this is the story, and now I get to see what is the big fuss. We get to see what the big fuss is about that happened against migrants attacked New York officer. Shocking.
All right, a Fox News alert on this Wednesday morning. The House Homeland Security Committee yesterday advanced articles of impeachment against DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas in an overnight vote that got heated. It was strictly along party lines.
Secretary Mayorkas' actions have forced our hand. We cannot allow this border crisis to continue. We cannot allow fentanyl to flood across our border.
Them impeaching him in front of us, in front of the world, in front of all of us is them trying to keep their job. And I don't think this should be held accountable for one. Let me first of all say that, put that out there. This man right here that's getting impeached, that like he said, and like you're going to hear, the border crisis was there before he got there. Nobody up there was trying to fix that shit. Nobody was coming together and thinking about fixing that shit. That border crisis opening the door was a secretive no, I guarantee, hand down. So now, if that's a false allegation at what I'm saying, and like I'm saying, I'm talking bullshit. If that's a false allegation, I'm talking bullshit. That means every problem in America, you mother up there in the government house can actually fix y'all stuff and quit BSing with me. Now, this is to my cannabis conservative lovers out there. This is to my liberals out there. This is to my Democrats out there. This is to anybody who feels like your vote counts. Now I'm starting to be a tad bit pissed off. Just a tad bit, but I'm going to go here and take a little deeper, take a little further before we get deep off into this. Because yet again, the border crisis has been a problem. The biggest person or the biggest president to send the most people back to their home country was Barack Obama. Barack Obama sent more illegal immigrants back to their home country than any other president in the United States of America. Okay? Hold on. Go sit down. Y'all heard that too. But Barack Obama sent more illegal immigrants home than anybody, any other person out there. Okay? So let's put that out there. Nobody in that administration or the administration after, including my homie administration, tried to do something. All of a sudden now it's well out of proportion. It's just well out of proportion. Okay. So now they want to point the finger so people up there in the Congress House can say, oh, you know, well, we get our job done. Look at us. Look at us. We impeach people. This is a load of crap. This is so these people here can keep their jobs and they can say, hey, this is what I did during these 4 years or during the Biden administration. You seen what I did. I was one of the ones that fought for your rights and freedoms and what? What we should be wondering and hoping and holding a flame fuel to the fire is making sure who sent down the note from the top. Which one of you kid trafficking MFers from the top sent the note down and sent all these people over? Because all of a sudden there are mysterious stories of kids getting sent to these states and then all of a sudden disappearing from their mothers. Why is the family rate, that means mother, father, child, lower than the mother and child, lower than just a man, lower than the women? I'm talking about the connected family versus all them significant different groups. So, you know which the kids are getting taken from? The one with the single mothers. And the single mothers are not asking where their kids at. Come on now, because you know if they was asking where their kids at, what would have happened? The Karens of TikToks will be out there. Do I need to hashtag that? I think I need to do that. I think once I get done, I'm gonna tweet or X. It'd be my first, I think this would be like one of my first big X. TikTokers are a bunch of Karens. So when you know a story going down, you know it's something foul messed up, all you got to do is go to TikTok because you got to go to the Karens. Let's get to the Karens. The Karens are going to let you know what's going on. Trust me. Think I'm BSing. Okay? Think I'm BSing. And I'm going to keep saying that.
We cannot allow this border crisis to continue. We cannot allow fentanyl to flood across our border, our criminals to waltz in undeterred. And we cannot allow a cabinet secretary with no regard for the separation of powers or the rule of law to remain in office.
And any shortcomings that Mayorkas may have, frankly, are your fault. He's asking for authorities to do more, to have more border agents, to have more resources. And so his limitations are caused by you.
It was a marathon session, 13 hours long. Eventually, Mayorkas called the allegations baseless in a letter to the committee. The next step is an impeachment vote on the House floor.
And as that battle unfolds in Washington, look at this insane video. A group of migrants in New York City are arrested after attacking NYPD officers in Times Square. 5 were arrested, and 4 are already released without bail.
All right, the brawl started when 2 officers were trying to break up a rowdy crowd near a migrant shelter on 42nd Street. While arresting one of the men, the other said, hey, I'm not going to just sit there. I'll jump in. I'll start kicking. I'll start punching the officers. After all, I don't belong in this country anyway. I could beat up an NYPD officer. What'll actually happen? The Manhattan DA's office saying it's investigated the incident as police search for 5 other men involved. Every part of this incident could have been avoided if you didn't allow 67,000 people to call New York home who don't belong here. And what happened is, instead of being grateful, they're creating chaos. They get free food, free laundry. They can do whatever they want, free shelter. And when they start fighting each other and NYPD comes to enforce the law, they beat up the cops. So get you trying to wrap your head around that.
Listen, the actual number, according to the New York Post, and they had this story exclusively, 172,000 migrants have come to New York City. Since, in the last year and a half. 172,000, 67,000 are currently in shelters. Obviously, if these guys were over by the migrant shelter, you can connect the dots. They were probably living there. Here's the thing. One of the, and by the way, they did bust in all 5 people. 2 19-year-olds, a 21-year-old, and a 24-year-old, and of course all single males. And weren't we told a while back the people being led across the border were all in family units? Anyway, one of those migrants apparently has 2 open cases for assault and robbery. He's already been arrested twice. In November, he punched and pushed and bit a Nordstrom Rack employee who said, hey, you can't steal that 130.
We supposed to sit back and say this is okay. We supposed to sit back and say that whatever happened, since we don't know, was justified because they're immigrants and they were just sticking together. That's what we just supposed to say. We just supposed to sit back and just say this is okay. So I want anybody understand that. I'm gonna rewind it back for a second. We stopped at 3. Okay.
4 arrested, and 4 are already released without bail.
For a second, so
all right, the brawl started when 2 officers were trying to break up a rowdy crowd near a migrant shelter on 42nd Street. While arresting one of the men, the other said, hey, I'm not going to just sit there. I'll jump in. I'll start kicking. I'll start punching the officers. After all, I don't belong in this country anyway. I could beat up an NYPD officer. What'll actually happen? The Manhattan DA's office saying it's investigated the incident as police search for 5 other men involved. Every part of this incident could have been avoided if you didn't allow 67,000 people to call New York home who don't belong here. And what happened is, instead of being grateful, they're creating chaos. They get free food, free laundry. They can do whatever they want, free shelter. And when they start fighting each other and NYPD comes to enforce the law, they beat up the cops. So get you trying to wrap your head around that.
Listen, the actual number, according to the New York Post, and they had this story exclusively, 172,000 migrants have come to New York City since, in the last year and a half. 172,000, 67,000 are currently in shelters. Obviously, if these guys were over by the migrant shelter, you can connect the dots. They were probably living there. Here's the thing. One of the, and by the way, they did bust in all 5 people. 2 19-year-olds, a 21-year-old, and a 24-year-old, and of course all single males. And weren't we told a while back the people being led across the border were all in family units? Anyway, one of those migrants apparently has 2 open cases for assault and robbery. He's already been arrested twice. In November, he punched and pushed and bit a Nordstrom Rack employee who said, hey, you can't steal that $130 item from the store, pal. Well, he didn't like that. He bit the person. And then in December, he punched with a closed fist a loss prevention officer down at the big Macy's on 34th Street and he was trying to pull off another robbery with 2 other people. So how hard is it to get deported in this country if you're breaking the law and beating up cops?
That's the question. And this story in this video that you're seeing right here, it's the cross-section of so many things we talk about every single day with all the issues in cities and countries across the country where it's attacks on police, it's the illegal immigrant crisis, it's also the bail policies that are contributing to all of this. And yeah, like you said, Steve, one guy had already has 2 open cases, so he's now a repeat offender. And you just have to think about the mentality of this group of 5 people who, by the way, are claiming asylum.
They've all been released.
And because of that, it's behavior of people who are not afraid to get deported. If you were, and you know that you came here illegally and you're on thin ice, you're going to hide. You're going to be quiet, mind your P's and Q's. And these people are attacking police officers. Thankfully, they're okay.
And what you said is a cross-section of everything. It's a cross-section of let's open up the border. Let's not do the remain in Mexico. Let's not pressure other countries to keep their people there. Let's not make sure the cartels don't decide to give up drugs in order to get back into human trafficking. And let's not put up the wall. It all comes into the major cities. You want to blame the Republican governors for allowing these guys to get on buses and go to major cities? Don't. Look at Mayorkas and Joe Biden and look at their policies and executive orders to reverse Donald Trump's policies, and it goes right back to those illegal immigrants on the streets beating up our cops.
It's also the cross-section of the downside of sanctuary cities, right? Because if this happened in a place that didn't have sanctuary city policies, they would call ICE and those people would get deported, not here.
ICE has been defanged, and number 2 is sanctuary cities. President Trump, one of the first. All right, the brawl started when 2 officers were trying to break up a rowdy crowd near a migrant shelter on 42nd Street. While arresting one of the men, the other said, hey, I'm not going to just sit there. I'll jump in. I'll start kicking. I'll start punching the officers. After all, I don't belong in this country anyway. I could beat up an NYPD officer. What will actually happen? The Manhattan DA's office saying it's investigated the incident as police search for 5 other men involved. Every part of this incident could have been avoided if you didn't allow 67,000 people to call New York home who don't belong here. And what happened is, instead of being grateful, they're creating chaos. They get free food, free laundry. They can do whatever they want, free shelter. And when they start fighting each other and NYPD comes to enforce the law, they beat up the cops. Forget you trying to wrap your head around that.
Listen, the actual number, according to the New York Post, and they had this story exclusively.
How much money?
172,000 migrants have come to New York City since, in the last year and a half. 172,000, 67,000 are currently in shelters. Obviously, if these guys were over by the migrant shelter, you can connect the dots. They were probably living there. Here's the thing. One of the and by the way, they did bust in all 5 people, 2 19-year-olds, a 21-year-old, and a 24-year-old, and of course all single males. And weren't we told a while back the people being led across the border were all in family units? Anyway, one of those migrants apparently has 2 open cases for assault and robbery. He's already been arrested twice. In November, he punched and pushed and bit a Nordstrom Rack employee who said, hey, you can't steal that $130 item from the store.
And I know
well, he didn't like that. He bit the person. And then in December, he punched with a closed fist a loss prevention officer down at the big Macy's on 34th Street. He was trying to pull off another robbery with 2 other people. So how hard is it to get deported in this country if you're breaking the law and beating up cops?
That's the question. And this story in this video that you're seeing right here, it's the cross-section of so many things we talk about every single day with all the issues in cities and countries across the country where it's attacks on police, it's the illegal immigrant crisis, it's also the bail policies that are contributing to all of this. And yeah, like you said, Steve, one guy had already has 2 open cases, so he's now a repeat offender. And you just have to think about the mentality of this group of 5 people who, by the way,
I don't know. I like debating my good friend, and I had to see what he was looking at and what was so interesting. Well, I almost forgot about it to even look that up. I'm just glad it popped up, and it did remind me. I do want to see. I don't want to see what happened from Fox View no more. I want to see it from another company. That's what I really want to see and hear, especially from a liberal station. See how they paint the picture. What? No liberal station's gonna talk about it. Shocking. No. No, 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 sir. Look at this, y'all. Only Fox is covering that story. Only Fox is covering that story. I damn near got on station. Matter of fact, another thing I'm gonna do is go around to every 50 state news station and get coverage and click on them. All 50. Hell yeah, I am. Only Fox is covering this. Yeah. I know I got NBC. See, look, I know I got NBC. I know I got them channels. They want to cover what? They want to cover the crisis from their side. They want to cover Snapchat CEO said he is sorry to parents who children. What? Okay, that's probably important, and it sounds. See. Oh, mess. Let's see.
Cade is alive. You took my son?
We gotta get that baby back.
You won't ever stop me.
Their bullets ring out in deadly gunfights on the streets of Mexico.
The video alone
Their very
is
presence
exclusive.
instilling fear. Allegedly arming organizations whose illegal drug
See, this is why
operations
you're
have
able to
fueled an
protect
out-of-control
yourself,
fentanyl crisis in the U.S. and sending masses of
Fentanyl.
migrants fleeing across the
What
border.
it is.
American-made guns in the hands of Mexico's violent and powerful cartels. And now Mexico says
Man, okay, y'all. You seen the videos exclusive. You seen the videos going down. Man, hell, shit. Well, damn. Okay. That's all I want to say. Hell, shit. Well, damn. It's going down. Oh, shit. I feel stupid because y'all can't see nothing. See, this is because y'all don't comment and let me know that I'm looking stupid. Well, I feel stupid as hell. Watch this, y'all.
their bullets ring out in deadly gunfights on the streets of Mexico. Their very presence instilling fear. Allegedly arming organizations whose illegal drug operations have fueled an out-of-control fentanyl crisis in the U.S. and sending masses of migrants fleeing across the border.
I came here because my husband was murdered.
American-made guns in the hands of Mexico's violent and powerful cartels. And now Mexico says the makers of those guns should be the ones to pay. The government scoring a victory last week as a U.S. federal appeals court cleared the way for a $10 billion lawsuit to proceed against 6 of the biggest gun makers in America, including Smith & Wesson, Glock, and Ruger. Mexico accuses those companies of aiding and abetting an illegal trafficking network of weapons from American gun stores to Mexican cartels. A market Mexico argues that makes those companies hundreds of millions of dollars in profits. According to the appeals court's latest ruling, Mexico must now prove that American gun companies have deliberately catered to the illegal market by design choices, marketing.
Now, we're getting somewhere. if y'all ever want to go after the gun people, gun law, this is probably one for the makers. This is probably the one for the makers. I bet you a lot of people is finna start covering it. The high rankings, the gun laws, the gun fathers, they covering this story right here. I wonder what's going on right here. Because that's fucked up. You know them guns, you shouldn't be trafficking guns to another country. Not like how they trying to say.
According to the appeals court's latest ruling, Mexico must now prove that American gun companies have deliberately catered to the illegal market by design choices, marketing tactics, and selling to parties that are known dealers for the cartels.
Here we are with a manufacturers of some of the most deadly weapons on the face of the earth, and they stick their heads in the sand, say we have no obligation to anybody to monitor and discipline our distribution system.
Mexico has extremely strict gun laws. According to their lawsuit, there's only one store in the entire country. And yet, based on the latest data from the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation, the country has the third most gun-related deaths in the world, which Mexico alleges are fueled by hundreds of thousands of weapons smuggled across the border. Former ATF Special Agent Chris Demline led the most recent government investigation into how this happens.
We had networks that crisscross the United States, funneling weapons down south to the cartels. They work like terrorist cells. They don't know each other.
His team found that up to 85% of firearms at cartel crime scenes are traced back to American gun stores.
Those people go and buy the guns. They give them to the cell leader. Okay, that cell leader then collects those guns from all his cells. He brings them to their known smugglers, and then the smugglers smuggle them into Mexico.
Homicides in Mexico have increased dramatically over the past several decades. The lawsuit alleges that just 15% of those deaths were gun-related in 1997, and that by 2021, that number had risen to 69%. This spike in the middle, Mexico points out, came shortly after 2004, when the U.S. federal ban on assault weapons expired. But American gun advocates say that the Mexican government is wrong to blame American gun makers.
There is no marketing to drug cartels. The Mexican government has failed in its moral obligation to its citizens to bring the cartels to justice.
Lawrence Keene, general counsel with the National Shooting Sports Foundation, says the gun manufacturers plan to seek review by the U.S. Supreme Court in early April. This report is the first time that plan has been made public. The Biden administration has touted new steps to combat gun trafficking, including a new anti-cartel weapons trafficking group on the southwest border. But even improved efforts are only stopping a fraction of that traffic.
Nearly 2,000 firearms were seized from last October to just this past March.
Somewhere between 250,000 to 1 million firearms a year are trafficked into Mexico. We have the laws, we have the capability. We're the largest, most powerful country in the world.
Bro, how many trains go into Mexico you think they're just smuggling guns like that so easily in oil tanks or cow, whatever freights like that? What? Yeah. I see that happening, but y'all saying that the actual gun people are doing that, y'all not gonna. Nope. Yeah, you had me in the beginning of this story like, yeah, okay, man, y'all actually going somewhere. Good try, but to actually prove that they're trafficking into, nah, you can't do that. It sounds good. Trust me, it sounds very great, but to actually get that done is going to be something very, very hard to do. Very, very hard to do, to prove that the gun companies is really trafficking guns out there. Somebody had to really be slipping on a pimping. Now, I want to play this because even though we covered it with Trump getting sued $82 million, I ain't know he got sued for not saying he didn't know that lady. No, we ain't gonna cover that stuff. We already covered it, but that's crazy. Trump is lost a lawsuit for saying that I don't know had no sexual. Y'all are crazy. Anything to put Trump in a bandwagon hole. Y'all think y'all be on it. Look at this. I just can't believe no other companies are covering this story. That's good.
Snap your W-2 and file.
Snap your W-2s and file.
With us, I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. We begin our show with the ongoing fallout from Sunday's drone attack that killed 3 U.S. soldiers in northeastern Jordan. The U.S. says it was carried out by an Iran-backed group in the region.
As he departed the White House yesterday, President Biden said he has decided on a response to the attack, but he did not elaborate on what that would be. NBC News senior White House reporter Peter Nicholas joins us now. Peter, I know we are getting some new information from U.S. officials about what that response could look like. What are we hearing?
Well, we're hearing that the response could take weeks and not days, that this is not going to be a one-off retaliatory strike. The president obviously doesn't want to telegraph what his moves are going to be, but NBC News has learned that it will probably include Iranian.
Not to be an asshole, but to be an asshole. If this young thug case is live, I want to see what's going on.
What I'll do is I will reach out to our jurors and have them to come in at for a start time of 10:30.
Thank you, sir.
So that will suffice.
Six hours of this shit. The reason I'm watching this because Fannie Wallace, Fannie, whatever her last name is, supposed to be, she's in this case too, and was sleeping with somebody.
The keys are in the box, Tim? Keys are in the box? Okay.
And I'm going to have the jury see a full picture of why Fikes is there, would be able to talk about everything he saw and did with that car, which goes into what we talked about yesterday, Your Honor.
Are you still not going to try to introduce the guns, right?
Hold on, y'all. We're just watching it just for them. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but what was funny to me is they supposed to be locked up, I'm guessing, allegedly. I'm going to say a bunch of allegedly because I don't know nothing. But what's funny is he be having his head down majority of the time looking at a tablet or phone. These niggas is well dressed, facing fed times of damn near life or something. Amazing.
Your Honor,
amazing.
at this current time, the state was not intending to introduce anything with 2018 per your guidance. If Fikes discussed what he did, the state did have, and before the court's ruling yesterday, its exhibit X-ray. We had 5 photographs pertaining to the firearms, that the money and the marijuana that Officer Fikes and Officer Gant handled with that case. So the state would feel that if we're going to talk about it, if the door is open, we would intend to introduce the photographs of those firearms. That is what Officer Fikes is testifying about and what he saw and witnessed.
The specific 2 things that I mentioned to the court have nothing to do with the contraband in the second vehicle.
Well, they do have, I mean, address this for me. He's got to be able to tell why it is it completes the picture in terms of why he was involved. He saw the weapons.
Not if he's talking about Jeffrey Williams' car and he's trying to get the officer
That's a totally separate issue, and I agree that that goes to bias. Separate issue. But the state's trying to tell me, or the state's trying to just have me rule upon, is whether or not they get to complete the picture as to why Fikes is there to begin with.
Well, I mean, that's, first of all, the state has a little backwards. Gant makes a stop.
Man, be on talking to the mic, man.
Get the location. Not just Fikes. A lot of other officers arrive at the location. And they're conducting their investigation. Gant is conducting the investigation in regards to the speeding ticket for Mr. Williams. The problem for them is that when Fikes comes up to talk to Gant, he's talking to him about Mr. Williams. When he asks him to mute his body camera, he's talking to him about Mr. Williams. When he asks him about upgrading charges, we're talking about Mr. Williams. We're not talking about, it doesn't matter why he's there. By my analogy, I'm sorry, Jeff, but my analogy, let's say we have an issue about Officer Fikes' general credibility and bias in how he conducts investigations. And there was another case, a separate case, has nothing to do with this, where we have evidence that Officer Fikes has asked another officer to shut off their body cam, or has asked an officer to go ahead and upgrade charges on some defendants so that they could get in, they could search that defendant's car. That goes to that officer's credibility. It has nothing to do with this case. It has nothing to do with the reason that the person's there. It's just that officer's actions, right, that go to his credibility or his bias. And it shows obvious credibility and bias. The jury can make that determination, but that doesn't open the door to allow them to talk about the second car, because we're not talking about it. They're talking about the second car or contraband that's found in the second car that has no connection or nexus to Mr. Williams.
Your Honor,
I still agree, Mr. Atkins. I still agree that it's not relevant.
Your Honor, you agree with the state's position?
No,
I look, he finally looked
Your Honor,
up.
may I respond?
Sure.
OCGA 24-8-822, and I'm going to prevents litigants from
24-8 what?
24-8-822, Your Honor, prevents litigants from misleading the jury by presenting portions of prior statements taken out of context, and it is often essential in order to arrive at the true drift, intent, and meaning of what was said on the previous occasion. And the reason that's so salient, Your Honor, is that it's not just Officer Fikes being there, it's Officer Fikes. The information when he approaches Officer Gant is part and parcel of the firearm. So if he's crossed about, yes, Your Honor.
We covered this yesterday. It doesn't have a nexus. Stop trying to get into it. I'm still not convinced. So, he shouldn't testify about why he was there. It's not relevant at this point in time, because what it does is invites and opens the doors to the weapons. So you're not gonna do that at this time.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what they're trying to assert is they're examining just on bias. That's it. On the 18 stop. I don't see another reason at this point in time. I still have to, I understand what 24-8-822 does, 822 does, but I'm still not convinced.
Understood, Your Honor. After cross-examination, the state will, depending on how the testimony comes out, approach Your Honor before asking any questions related to that, if the state feels that the door has been opened.
Well, I'll be listening.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, is Officer Fikes here?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's go ahead and recall him, please.
Oh, no, see, why they got a family camera up? This is the most action I have ever seen in the courthouse. Oh, shit. This is no BS. This is more exciting than the Trump trials that is going on. Already, hey, at this time, don't you do it. What are you doing? Okay? You can't be coming up here at this time. Hey, I was shocked. Oh, I'm kind of mad at this cameraman. What you doing, cameraman? What you doing, cameraman? What you doing? What you doing, cameraman? What you doing, cameraman? What you doing, cameraman?
Summarize yours for us, please, Sergeant Ingram.
All rise. Oh, I told you you weren't gonna watch it. Ooh, what's this?
These are the 4 Adderall pills that came out of the medicine bottle.
And how do you recognize them?
It's got also Latif writing on the front, and I can see the pills through the back of the bag.
And are these the Adderall pills that you recovered from Defendant Williams' vehicle?
Yes, sir.
At this time, Your Honor, the state moves to tender States Exhibit 67 into evidence.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am handing 67 Lima to the jury.
Courtrooms have changed. Only thing that ain't changed is schools. People want to show schools as looking like prisons. I can't knock nobody for saying that or making that comparison. But it is what it is. Young Thugger trial is today, y'all. Is going down. YSL trial, as they would call it. Got that exclusive behind the scenes. Getting on down with a gangster lean. Man, ladies and gentlemen, it's I'm always dropping something. What we gonna look for? What we waiting for? What is 2004 in for? What do we got? I hope something happens. I hope something pop off smoothly. I hope something goes well. I hope something goes okay. Cause man, this look like a year of the beginning of a fight. And a lot of people say that, and people thinking that, and I guess if a lot of people say it, then it's gonna eventually happen. Because people like you talk things into existence. But I don't know. I guess if the shoe fits, then wear it, because the shoe is fitting around this camp. I mean, it is fitting swell. Well, y'all need it. Well, lady, I'm the ban, baby, dan, the ban. Well, lady, I'm baby, dan. Well, I thought I had a quick little something for y'all. I gonna have Did y'all hear about the French farmers protesting? Oh shit. I'm gonna have to show this off with y'all.
We are back, baby!
Big screen. You talk about shutting down the damn highway, bro. This is shutting it down. This is completely shut the hell down. You not moving nowhere until you pay us. This is movements like this need to happen in America when taxpayer money. This is what I be talking about with taxpayer money. When taxpayer money is not going our way, and we need things to happen right here, right now. This is what need to happen. You see how they shut down? They got their flags up. You cannot move them. Now you know the little global warming people would come around and they would try to do their little thing and stuff like that, but nah, it don't work. It don't work. This is I bet you they got a person that comes with coffee, somebody comes with lunch, somebody coming with all of that. I need it. Let me get it. I just turn down the volume so we can at least listen and hear. It's funny how we can listen and hear, but one of these days you're gonna be able to feel. You're gonna feel what it feels like to be over there somewhere. But America, are we ready to feel what it feels like to be somewhere else in another country? Maybe. Now listen here. Some of y'all already get mad when we switch states and it get different. You get mad when you switch states and it's different. To be in a virtual reality, to feel what it feels like in another country. As soon as you talk shit about your president, somebody coming to you with a citation, you cannot talk about Biden. You go to jail. Cut all your hair off. You be mad as hell. You would be mad as hell. You will get used to me swinging. Protesting and marching for a real something. But damn, how come, like, I guess everybody's going down back roads or something. You got to be hitting back roads. You got to be hitting back roads. If you out here doing this, you must be hitting back roads. Hopefully. If you ain't hitting back roads, that's fucked up. This is definitely a main highway. 2 lane on both sides. This is a main highway. This is good transportation. This is how somebody is getting around. Now, this is in Paris. Oui. Man, for one, you ain't got the balls to do this over here in America. We can do this. Don't get it twisted. We can do this. We got the power to do this, and the government has nothing to where, you know what I'm saying, you should have to tell. States should tell with like federal tell the army what to do. We should be able to stand up, especially if the checks is not rolling, y'all. The check's not rolling. This is what I be talking about when I say paying taxes for some dumbass shit. When we start realizing that our taxpayer money going to some dumbass shit, it's not going to something that's helping us out, it's not bettering our schools, it's not cleaning up our streets, it's not to bring jobs. This is an action. Nobody's getting hurt, nobody's dying. You know what I'm saying? It's just affirmative action. Yeah, let's go. Baby. I had a boss that used to sing that, and I never knew what Baby Shark. Still ain't ever watched that cartoon. But we just got our Baby Shark on, y'all. Let me rewind. We're going to go back a little bit just to see a different angle for a while. Look at that, man. And I heard these guys been here for some days. This is just not today. This is not just yesterday. I'm hearing like this has been here for like a week or so. What's that tractor trailer company? Deere? I wonder if Deere coming up here and handling their business like, hey, yo, this is what we in for. Look at that. Look at my boy, they pulled out. Y'all see the homie that pulled out with the sign? You see him pull out with the sign? Hey, pull up. My guy on the side of the road with the camera taking a picture. All these guys, all these farmers was told one thing: no money for you. What? Bro, we'll shut down the main highway, the main source of trucks getting in and out of this country. The country, y'all. When you gotta make a stand, when you gotta make a move like that, you know it's serious. And everybody up here united, everybody's up here together, no fighting. I'll rewind this a little bit more because I just want to see what's going on. Look at the board. It's like we got plenty of lumber. Look, got a little aluminum down there so it don't mess up the environment. To keep warm, everybody camping. The main question they probably ask, how long you think this is gonna last? I don't know. That's probably always the main question. How long do you think this is gonna last? I think it's gonna last a long time. Because the news company is probably using one of them highway cameras too, just to film all of this. Like, hey man, just use that camera up there. You ain't even got to send nobody out there. You don't even know what they don't speak English. I ain't like we know what they talking about. Hey, you still on my baby shark, baby. Yet again, we got crisis over here like this. Sometimes this is working. Sometimes this works. But as you see, it works better in other countries than it does over here. And a person over here was like, man, it happened over there. We can do it over here. Well, we ain't down. You know, we got corruption behind our stuff. That's what people fail to realize. There's corruption behind our stuff. You just can't do that. It sounds nice. It sounds good. It sounds promising. But you can't do that. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting hungry. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. We might have cut this a little short. We might have cut this a little short. I'll probably be on later on today or something, y'all. I'm getting hungry. It's time to go get me something to eat. This is what's up, man. We got to see some things, and shout out to Young Thugger and them. I don't know, free Young Thugger, I guess. I don't know. It's really none of my thing, but it is what it is, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever time you're watching this. I'm proud that y'all watch, and thank you for y'all support. Please hit that like button. Peace.